This is Donnie Lewis again for Rat Rods, 2 Lanes, Neon. We're still in the garage working on Frankenstein. There's a foot of snow still outside, as you've seen if you watched the last episode. He's still sitting here covered up on jack stands. And we've done a few things. I mentioned that we were going to turn the carbs sideways. We did. Rebuild them, freshened them up, new floats, needles and seats, jets, power valves. Just cleaned everything really good in them, blew out all the orifices. Got all the new linkages in and working. Everything's nice and smooth. And got it the way we want it. These aren't the air cleaners we're using. We're going to use these, but they were chrome. We painted them black. And I got some decals coming, and I'm going to put a decal right here, kind of a half moon. It says 283 turbo jet, turbo fire or something. It will match that one. 283 turbo fire, yeah. Make it look like it was built in the 60s. That's the theme for the car. But we had to fill in this big, huge, gaping hole because it had the street scoop on it. See the outline where the street scoop was? It's pretty huge. We just hung it on the wall and probably just leave it up there. You know, they would have had them in the 60s more or less. I had to run a couple air cleaners or nothing, so we're going to keep it 60s-ish. I fabbed up a little spring return down there out of another piece of a bracket from another build. Put a little bend to it so I got just enough kickback on my carbs to work. Cut the hole for some linkage to clear when she rolls over. And my son cut all these little patch panels out. We made a pattern out of cardboard, and then he took a plasma cutter and cut them. You see how rough it is? Today we're going to spend some time grinding all this flat. Finish cleaning up some of these grind marks here, and we're going to start getting it ready to tack in, smoothed out. It's not going to be fancy. I still want it to look rough and Frankensteinish, I guess you might say, make it look pieced together. But we're going to get all the slag off of it. We just wanted a good fit, like close to the air cleaners. Goes right behind that air cleaner. Under the motor is the distributor. And if it gets wet, you're done. So now you look up through there, and there's a lot nicer fit around it. And there's the distributor. We've been caught in the rain a couple times in it. It gets questionable. So I'm going to take it out on Route 66 in a couple months. We may get into one of those spring rains. And a video or two ago, last time we drove it before the snow hit, I don't remember, New Year's Day or something, New Year's Eve maybe, we broke a coilover, and it came down and hit the brake line and pretty much destroyed the brake line right there. So we are going to have to replace that, obviously. It's mushed pretty good. And the coilover bracket I welded up. The hole in the hood, I was going to use some different patch panels. You know, I like oddball stuff. There's old cans filling up fake rust holes in the back, and road signs on it for door panels and fenders. And I had bought these 4 oil cans, and I was going to cut up a couple of them or one of them and make these panels and leave all the oil in the can, names and everything on them. But I just couldn't do it. I just couldn't bring myself to do it. I collect a few. They start here and kind of go around. And got a few up here. They're kind of bright. I got a few there. Nothing high dollar or fancy, just some cans I like. And I collect those little gas station maps. Every one of them's different from a single gas station company. Every one of them's from a different one. They're all different. I collect a few little things, but I just couldn't bring myself to cut those up to make patch panels, so they're on the shelf flat on somewhere else, bigger shelf. But we've got the carbs done. Fuel lines are rerouted. The linkages are on it. Fuel line was pretty simple. I don't want to use stainless or anything. It's just rubber back to the same T down to the filter. It's all pretty, just basic stuff. They wouldn't have used stainless or anything in the 60s. So I went ahead and come back when I was fixing the coilover and decided I need to put a little more angle on the rear end. Change the pinion angle just a little. So I put the wedge under it, the aluminum wedge, 6 degrees. I've got to cut the bolts off that yet. They're a bit long now, but I put that under it, pulled the drums off, rechecked the brakes, tightened them up a click. I went mono leaf. There's a stack of leaves that come out of it. I just kept the original leaf with the eyelet to mount to the body, or to the frame. And those are the original leaves there. I don't think I was getting the full capability of the coilovers with all those leaves. The suspension never took a good set. So I took them out. I've just got the one down there. And I took the coilovers and I have adjusted the driver's side as loose as it will go, and I took 80% of fluid out of it. They don't recommend going any lower because it's got to lubricate it and cool as it moves. And the passenger side, I got as tight as it will go, because when the car launches, it wants to pull this left front wheel big time. And then it drives you to the left. So we softened it up, got the coilovers where I can adjust them better, and put it all back together. And now we're going to work on some holes in the hood. And, oh yeah, I had to change oil pans because my other one was bent. I had a real low profile, nice oil pan. It was for a dirt track car, and it was a low profile so to clear the track. Now my drag link is super close to my oil pan. It's like real close. It's hard to see. There it is. See where we marked it? Where there's going to be travel. And what we're going to end up doing is dropping it where it's marked. You can see the drain plug, and there's only 1.5 inches of clearance between the pan and that drag link. But we're going to cut it and drop it and drag it over and put it back up and go right under that oil pan. And that's what we're going to work on later. I don't know, this week maybe. So there's a foot of snow everywhere. But that's what we've been doing, what we've been up to with Frankenstein. Haven't even started it yet since I redid the carbs, because the whole time I'm messing with the hood, I'm doing this to make sure things clear. So until I get this metal cleaned up and the welding done and the clearancing done, I can't be pumping the fuel, checking linkage clearance. And of course, obviously the carbs are out of gas. I had them apart and freshened them up, so I can do this now and not hurt nothing. It's all back together, and so we're going to do the hood, and then we can fire it up later and let it run for a minute. And go to the next little project with it, which will probably be the drag link. And that's where we're at. So I will catch you up when we make some more progress. And I'll see how far I can get today. Well, we got the carbs back together, linkages, fuel lines, got a bunch of gas pumped up, put a bunch of good fuel in it. We started it finally, let it run a minute ago. We've come back out, see if this thing will fire up. Cold nature. Again, now it's warm. That's better. Just got some good gas put back in him. I started it, let it run for a minute, playing with the linkages and the idle where the carburetors have been apart, and it actually started. And we went in, and I'm going to come out and see what happens. Well, it should start back with no problem. Hopefully. Close enough. quit for today. I've been out here all last night and almost all day today, except to go eat. We got the carbs put back together, took them apart again, made a little bit more change, fattened them up just a thousandth, and run it the second time you saw in the video, and it ran a whole lot better, cracked harder. So they're back together, and here's our hood. I have welded and welded and ground, and I stopped doing the grinding. I've got a lot more grinding to go, but that's pretty much it. So until next time, this is Donnie Lewis for Rat Rods, 2 Lanes, and Neon. And remember, drive them.